The Rhondda and Swansea Bay Railway was built in stages between 1882 and 1890 for the transportation of coal and other minerals from Rhondda to the various docks in Swansea Bay. One feature of the line was the steep gradients between Rhondda and Cimavan, which can reach as steep as 1 in 39. Control of this line was taken over by the Great Western Railways between 1906 and 1922. The line being taken over by British Railways in 1948, which was still in control of the line running into 1960. On the evening of the 24th of November 1960, two trains were travelling along the Rhondda and Swansea Bay line. The first of these was the 4:55 p.m. Swansea High Street to Barry Island passenger train. This was a Class 116 DMU consisting of 3 cars weighing just over 100 tons, with a driver, a guard and at least 22 passengers on board. The second train was the Simmer Afan to Aberravan pickup goods, which at the start consisted of one loaded coal wagon and a 20-ton brake van, being pulled by an ex-Great Western 5700 060 pannier tank number 9737, travelling bunker first. By the time the train reached Washery sidings, the night had grown dark and rain and strong winds had set in. At these sidings, the train picked up 20 loaded wagons, taking the total to 26 unfitted wagons, 24 loaded coal wagons and 2 empty ones. The train now weighing an estimated 620 tons. As it began to pull out of the sidings onto the main line, driver J.H. Evans, who had taken over at Rhondda, stopped as he was not sure whether or not the brake van had been attached. So he climbed down and walked back. He encountered guard W.E. Garbett applying the handbrakes on some of the loaded wagons and asked if the brake van was connected. Garbett confirmed that it was and asked the driver if he was satisfied with the number of brakes applied, to which Evans replied that he was. With this they returned to their respective stations and the train set off towards Pontrhydyfen at 5:29 p.m. According to driver Evans, everything was normal until the train reached the home signal at Pontrhydyfen. He could see that the starter further down the line was at danger, so he applied the engine steam brake on top of his handbrake, but the wheels picked up. Evans disengaged the steam brake and reapplied it, but the wheels picked up again. He tried it several more times, even employing the sanding gear, but to no avail. Evan reports that as they approached the signal box, he could feel the engine being pushed by the wagons behind, and realised he couldn't stop. In desperation, he threw the engine into the forward gear and opened up the regulator, blowing a brake whistle on the continuous series of warning whistles as they ran through Pontrhydyfen station. Evans noting that in the light of the station he could see that the sanders appeared empty. It was now that guard Garbett applied his brake, after noticing the dangerously high speeds the train was travelling at. Rounding the next bend, he encountered the DMU coming up towards them, on the same line. Gliding at around 5:45 p.m. at a closing speed of about 35 to 40 miles an hour. The driver of the DMU was killed when his cab was crushed by the bunker of 9737, whose fireman was also killed in the collision. Driver Evans was seriously uninjured but would survive. The guards of both trains were also injured, along with 22 of the passengers, 2 of them seriously, but there were no further fatalities. A report into the accident by Colonel D. McCullen was published in April of 1961. He examined 9737 and found that its brakes were working despite the damage it had sustained in the crash. He also examined the wrecks of the leading 8 wagons but was unable to determine whether their brakes had been applied or not. On the 31st of January 1961, a test train with the same mix of rolling stock, hauled by a sister engine, was run down the line during similar weather conditions, which got to its destination with no trouble despite having the same braking power. In his conclusions, the blame fell on driver Evans for leaving Rhondda without sufficient braking power on his train, McCullen stating, "I think it is likely that Evans misled himself by assessing the brake power available on the train while it was still, for the greater part, on the less steeply graded sidings instead of the main line. The track in the sidings is uneven, and there are several curves, including the reverse curve, and both these conditions would have made the train heavier to pull." Guard Garbett also drew criticism. While it is believed he had pinned down the brakes on some of the wagons, it certainly wasn't as high as 7 as he had claimed. The signalman at Pontrhydyfen also came under scrutiny for not following regulation, which also may have misled driver Evans into braking late. In these recommendations, McCullen advocated stronger adherence to the current regulations. That drivers should shake their sanders of locomotives when taking over, and it is speculated that 9737 was running low or even empty when Evans took over. Also, that the method of indication that a train was out of control by sounding of a distinctive code of the engine should be considered for adoption on the western region. Finally, he recommended that automatic vacuum brakes be fitted to mineral wagons, a change that the British Railways was already rolling out to the rest of its wagon fleet. The Rhondda and Swansea Bay Railway would lose its passenger services by 1962, with mineral traffic ending in 1964. Today, most of the former line is now part of the National Cycle Network, with the site of the crash itself now a sports field.